So let's switch this on and have a look at some of the controls. So the control up here has a range of numbers ranging from 1 to 5. And you'll see the colour of the light changes with it. The more magenta it is, it's called grade 5. And this is the paper we're using, it's multi-grade paper. Grade 1 is much more yellow, as you can see, and that's a low grade. So basically you've got the low grade or high grade. Low grade lacks contrast, is lots of grey. So if you've got lots of different tones of grey in there, all those greys will come out. If you put it to 5, it will be very high contrast, and what you end up with lots of black and white with very little middle greys in between. Okay, so you're controlling effectively the contrast this way. But for the moment, around about 3 or 3.5 is a good sort of middle ground that it's a balance of of contrast there. So we're going to go for grade 3, and we need to make sure that that's the brightest it can be. So it's exactly the same as on a camera. We can affect the aperture. So you can see the numbers there. There's f2.8, 4, 5, 6, 8, 11, and so on. It goes on, just like the aperture does on the front of the camera. That won't make any difference at all when we're doing the contact sheet. It changes the amount of time that we're doing it for, because of course we're letting less light through, then we need to let it light through for longer. Exactly the same as we do on the camera. What this will change is when you have a negative inside here, is if you have it set to f8, remember, sorry, f2.8, remember that wider aperture, more light, less time, but of course it decreases your depth of field. Okay, so what happens is the distance from here to here is different from the distance from here to here. So that slight difference means that your outside edges might start to be out of focus. So that's why you then stop this down to sort of f11, something like that, which increases your depth of field, which means that more of your negative is going to be in focus. Right, so let's take that down to about f8, so that we've got a reasonable amount of time. Okay, so what we're going to do, we'll just check everything. We've got grade 3, that's fine, f8. The amount of time we're going to process this for is 10 seconds. So I'll set that across to multiples of 10. Just check to make sure that the light is covering the whole area, that's fine. So we know that the light is getting to the whole of this now. I'm going to put this on for 10 seconds. So that bit there is going to be very black. But this is a test, so we don't want to just do that for 10 seconds. What we want to do is do that bit for 20 seconds. And then that bit for 20 seconds, that bit will now be 30 seconds. So we'll have 10, 20, 30 seconds. And this is how you do a test strip. So when you're doing this, whether it's for a negative, doing an enlargement, or whether you're doing a contact sheet, we set up a series of exposures like this, so that we can then look at if the 10 seconds is too light or 20 seconds is too dark, we know it's going to be about 15 seconds is the right amount to do. Notwithstanding that you might have all your negatives over this side might be really dark, and all your negatives over this side might be really light, so you have to kind of work with those negatives accordingly. Okay, right. So this is the magic-y bit. If you guys will come over here, just get some tongs out.